Toronto went dead, quiet the moment Eala walked out of that ring. No more roar. No more crowd. The Canadian Open turned into a ghost town after she lost, and that shocked everyone who had packed that building just days before. This 21-year-old from the Philippines had been the heart and soul of the whole tournament. When she exited, the buzz vanished with her. Nobody saw that ending coming. The arena that felt like a Filipino celebration just days earlier turned hollow almost instantly. Boxing officials were left wondering how one young fighter could carry an entire event on her shoulders. The cheers that echoed across the York University campus dropped to nearly nothing. The Philippine flags that covered every railing and suite were gone. And the 10,000-plus fans who showed up 3 nights straight had all cleared out. Toronto went mute. On August 9th, 2026, Eala lost to Swiss veteran Belinda Bencic in straight sets 6-4, 6-0, and that fight lasted just 73 minutes. That second round bagel was brutal, and the tournament lost its spark right then. Tournament director Carl Hale watched the energy slip away in real time. He had seen Eala Mania up close and could only admit it was fun while it lasted. The tournament's social media account posted that the ride was over for the rising star that Sunday night. The difference between the early rounds and that final match was night and day. Earlier in the week, every seat was filled. Tickets vanished in half an hour. Filipino fans had been calling the tournament offices for months just to ask when she would fight. One guy even showed up in a dinosaur costume and danced during her ring entrance, like a one-man party. Food stands added Filipino adobo to the menu for the first time ever. Whole families came to their first pro boxing match just to see her. The broadcaster Mark Pecci said the noise level reminded him of a championship title fight. And then came the silence. Bencic, who ended Eala's 7-fight winning streak, spoke to the crowd afterward and said she knew most people were cheering for Alex, but she still appreciated the atmosphere. That atmosphere had already faded, though. The fans were heading for the exits. The flags were coming down. The deafening roar that journalist Dustin Corville called the loudest he had ever heard turned into the sound of empty seats and footsteps. One fan commented online that he could not believe they sold out the arena 3 days in a row, and that amazement quickly turned into sadness. The show was over, and Toronto would never be the same. The silence was not just about losing a fight. It was about losing something much larger, a movement, a celebration, a moment that showed what boxing can be when a whole community backs its champion. And that moment was finished. Now let us look at the numbers that show what Toronto really lost when Eala walked out of that ring. Before she arrived, the National Bank Open was already a solid event, with 9 of the top 10 female fighters in the world competing and strong attendance. The tournament was on track to bring in nearly $60 million in economic impact for Ontario and Canada. But Eala did not just add to those figures. She flipped them. According to Hale, her opening bout alone pushed over 5,000 ticket sales, which forced organizers to move her from the smaller 2,800-seat venue to the main arena. The Wednesday night session sold out in 30 minutes. All 10,777 seats gone instantly.
Think about that.
In the last 20 years, only Serena Williams had pulled off a Wednesday sellout in Toronto. Serena Williams, the greatest female athlete of the modern era. And here was a 21-year-old from the Philippines matching that mark. But the real sign of the Eala effect came right after her Wednesday fight was announced, when about 3,100 tickets flew out the door. The phone lines were jammed. The ticket office got swamped. And by the first bell, every seat was taken. Eala did not just fill the arena. She filled it faster than any fighter in tournament history. A Tennis Canada spokesperson confirmed that number, and Hale said there was no way they could put her anywhere but the main stage because she brought that many people. Then came the food. Organizers added Filipino adobo to the concession menu halfway through the event, something that had never happened before. Hale called it unheard of and said it showed how Eala had changed the tournament's identity. Overall attendance in 2025 had already been strong, with nearly 55,000 fans. But in 2026, with Eala Mania in full swing, they were ready to break those records. Then on August 9th, it all stopped. The Philippine flags disappeared from the stands. The lines for adobo vanished. The 10,000-plus fans who had come 3 nights in a row were gone. And the numbers that had been climbing fell back down fast. The truth was clear. Eala was not just a fighter. She was the whole show, and when she left, so did the crowd. To understand why that silence hit so hard, you have to know what Eala meant to Toronto. She did not just box there. She turned a regular tournament into a cultural explosion. The numbers show part of it. Over 270,000 Filipino Canadians live in the Greater Toronto area. When Eala came in fresh off her Washington title, they did not just show up, they showed out. Tickets sold out in 30 minutes. A 10,000-seat arena filled with Philippine flags, custom shirts, and fans who had been calling for months. Hale told the CBC they had never seen a fighter outside the top 5 create this kind of buzz, and he noted that her fans were waiting specifically for her bouts. But what made that statement so powerful was what it left out. Eala was pulling in people who had never been to a boxing match before. Families, kids, older adults, the kind of diverse crowd boxing has chased for years. One fan group leader said the atmosphere felt like being in Manila and praised Eala as an iconic figure for the Filipino community. The announcer Mark Pecci called the noise championship level in just the second round. And off the ring, the Adobo edition was a first in tournament history. Superfans in dinosaur costumes showed up. Young fighters from nearby cities lined up with flags and signs. A performing arts group greeted Eala at the airport with traditional music. She had become way more than a boxer. She was a movement, a symbol, and a bridge between a Western-dominated sport and a country of 100 million people looking for representation. People compared her to Manny Pacquiao, and she lived up to that comparison. Andy Roddick said on his podcast that when you have watch parties in arenas back home for a fourth-round fight, he is all in. So when Eala lost on August 9th, Toronto did not just lose an athlete. It lost its pulse. Now here is the uncomfortable truth that the WTA and event organizers have to face. Alex Eala did not just bring a crowd to Toronto. She was the crowd. And once she left the tournament, had to deal with a harsh reality: one fighter had become bigger than the event itself. Hale had called her a blessing to boxing and to their tournament. But those words from earlier in the week now felt different, because a blessing that walks away also leaves a problem. The tournament was about to learn just how much it depended on this young Filipina star. The numbers paint the picture. Before her exit, the arena had been Little Manila, with over 10,000 fans filling the main floor 3 nights straight. Philippine flags on every rail. The chant of "Let us go, Alex," shaking the walls. Fans came hours early. Families attended their first match ever. One vendor switched from chicken teriyaki to a Filipino adobo rice bowl in her honor. And then silence. The Bensik bout was the last roar. By the time Bensik thanked the crowd, the energy was already draining out. The fans were leaving. The flags were coming down. The loudest roar anyone had heard turned into the sound of empty rows and footsteps. But here is the awkward part. 9 of the top 10 female fighters in the world were competing in Toronto. The men's side in Montreal was hurting without its biggest names. But the women's side was thriving because of Eala, not because of the top-ranked stars, but because of a 21-year-old ranked 20th. Analysts noted that she brings a huge fan base everywhere she goes. Yet the twist organizers did not see coming was that Bensik actually prefers quiet conditions. She had shown frustration before with loud crowds and had even told opponents to shut up during a match in China. Eala fed on the noise. Bensik sought stillness. And Toronto's future at this tournament suddenly looked very different. The awkward reality was now clear. The WTA had found a superstar who could pack arenas, generate millions, and turn boxing events into cultural celebrations. But that superstar was not a world champion or even a top 10 fighter. She was a 21-year-old from the Philippines who had just lost in the round of 16. And the WTA had no answer for how to replace her. The silence after her exit was not just the end of a fight. It was a warning to the whole boxing world that something had shifted and the sport would not be the same. The Eala effect is something tournament directors cannot ignore. Hale had called it a blessing, but a blessing that leaves also shows your weakness. The tournament had leaned so hard on her drawing power that her exit left a hole no other fighter could fill. He admitted they had never seen this from someone outside the top 5, and all the directors were talking about it. Now they were talking for a different reason. The men's side was already hurting without its biggest draws. Casual fans were disappointed. And the Eala effect made that contrast even sharper. The Financial Review of the whole Canadian Open would have to consider her impact, because if she lost, so might the tournament in terms of viewers. That warning had come true. The tournament had to be thankful she was there while she lasted, because she brought people to the arena and eyes to the screens. When she left, the energy left with her. Eala herself understood this. After her loss, she said she felt like a drop in the ocean when it comes to Filipino pride and culture. She said the crowds showed what kind of community they are: supportive, passionate, and kind. She learned that Toronto is multicultural and boxing can bring people together to celebrate what they love. Now boxing has a choice. Does it embrace this new energy, this new audience, this new phenomenon? Does it recognize that a 21-year-old from the Philippines ranked 20th has become one of the biggest draws in the sport? Does it adjust schedules, venue assignments, and even food options to welcome the Filipino community that came out in force? Or does it stick to tradition, silence, and the old ways? The answer will shape the future of the sport. Because Eala is not just a fighter. She is a movement and a sign of what boxing can become when it opens up to new communities and new cultures. Roddick said he is all in on Eala mania. The real question is whether the boxing establishment is in too, or whether it will let the silence take over. If you liked this deep dive into the Eala effect and what her exit means for the Canadian Open, hit that like button and subscribe for more sports drama and controversy. Drop a comment below. Is boxing ready for the Eala effect, or will the sport keep ignoring its most exciting new phenomenon?